What's up YouTube, it's your girl Jada Jonay and I am back with another video. As you already see by the title, today I am here with an updated QUICKWEAVE tutorial. First and foremost, I want to give a major shout out to UNice Hair Company for sponsoring this video. This is my second time wearing their bundles and I am highly pleased. Every time I do a QUICKWEAVE, I change something up a little bit, so I'm super excited to show you guys my new method. I love this QUICKWEAVE. It was super natural and super flat, and yeah, let's get into the hair. Alright, so here's their packaging, the bright pink that you cannot miss. They sent over 4 bundles of their 26-inch straight hair, and they also sent over some goodies as always. I love that. But let's get into the hair. The hair was super soft coming straight out of the package. Super silky and flowy with minimal shedding. And as you see, for 26 inches, these bundles were pretty full. How it came out after I washed it, as you see, it had a nice wave to it. That told me all I need to know. This was some good hair. But yes, let's go ahead and get into the install. I decided to do a middle part, so what I'm gonna do is part my hair down the middle, and then I'm gonna go on the side using my comb to see if I have enough hair to cover a track. So I have the first side of my leaved out parted out. I'm gonna do a small braid to section that off. Make sure you're using a handheld mirror to see the back of your head, just to make sure that your lines and everything are pretty straight. All I'm gonna do is do the same thing on the other side, using my comb to make sure that I have enough hair to cover a track. Hair is on the lower density side and it's very fine, so I do make sure that I part off a good bit, because if I don't, you will see those tracks real bad. So I part that off. I'm gonna go in with another braid. As you see, I have a straight equal leave out. Now I'm going to start with my foundation. This will vary based on your hair. Based on my hair, I could do like 2 or 3 braids and my hair will be flat, but I like it to be super flat, so I do go in with a good bit. This is completely optional though. You can do a slick back, or you can do small braids, big braids, whatever you feel is necessary to get your hair moved and out of the way. I did leave a good bit of my edges out because I did want a more versatile look and natural look, but this was my braid down. As you see, not super pretty, not super perfect, but it does the job. Even if you're not the strongest braider, because I can't with nails that good, but it looked like something. Now I'm going to go in with my Carol's Daughter Goddess Strength oil. I'm going to put this in between my braids just to give my scalp a little bit of nourishment. Then I'm going to take a black stocking cap. You can use 1 or 2 of these for more protection. I just use 1. And the most important step of all is your protective shield. I'm going to apply this all over my cap, everywhere but where my leave out is. Be careful not to get it on any hair that you will be leaving out. Prior to now, I was gluing the cap on before I did this step. But what I realized was gluing the cap is unnecessary when you're using this, because this is going to mold the cap to your head either way. So I've skipped the step of gluing the cap down, and now I just apply this all over my perimeter, and this will serve as an adhesive to the cap to your head, if that makes sense. This will also protect your hair from any glue as well. So you're going to blow dry that, and you'll know it's done drying once it looks kind of shiny. Once it's completely applied to the perimeter and the middle, you're going to go ahead and cut it once it's dried. Be careful to make sure that it's completely dry before you cut it, because it will come up. This is how the cap should look once you cut it all off. You can cut it before or after you apply the tracks. I just like to do it before because it gives me a good guide when placing the tracks. Okay, so for the first bundle, I'm going to measure it around my nape, and make sure you hold your finger where you measure it at so you can know exactly where you're cutting. I'm going to use my shears to cut exactly where I measured it at, and this is what it will look like. It's measured to my nape. I'm going to apply my 30-second Salon Pro glue to the track. This is what it should look like when it's applied, and then I'm going to use my blow dryer to dry it and make it a tad bit tacky. Once I do that, I'm going to apply it to the place that I measured it. I'm going to press it in. You can go in with the blow dryer a little bit extra if you prefer that, but it should stay pretty well. All I'm gonna do is continue this process of the head. Because I didn't want this super in my face or super just, you know, voluptuous. I want it super flat, super, not even thin, but a natural application. I just applied it ear to ear. I didn't really curve my tracks at all I just did them straight across. I didn't apply all 4 bundles. I think I did about 3 1/4. Because like I said, I was going for a natural look. So this is me kind of signaling and showing you guys how I lay them and place them. This is me with the first track in, and what I will say, what keeps the QUICKWEAVE flat is going in and flat ironing and hot combing as each bundle is applied. I feel like it's a little bit harder once it's already all in your head, because you'll have to kind of go through as opposed to doing it while you're installing it. I feel like it keeps it nice and sleek. As always, all products will be linked in my description box below, as well as my hot tools. These flat irons are literally so fire. The hair was so silky, it was literally so good. But as you see, I'm going to continue applying these tracks up my head using the exact same process. As you see, I'm not curving them at all. I'm doing them straight across because I wanted them to fall on the side of my ear. That way I could wear a headband, tuck it behind my ear if I wanted to. Sometimes when you curve them, it makes it kind of less fluid or flexible. So I wanted to make sure I had as much flexibility as I could with this install. Once I get to the very top, I do curve a slight piece. Like I might do 2 or 3 curved at the top, but I don't overly do it. As you see, I don't do it from each end of my leave out. I just kind of curve them over my edges just in case the wind blows. It's not like an unpleasant look. As I start working my way up to the top, I go ahead and cut my cap a little bit, and this will just help you with placement and seeing where you're at and what you're doing. The cap can get in the way, so I do like to cut it just before I do anything extra so I can know exactly what it is and where I'm cutting, doing, and measuring. I don't know if I can stress this enough, but be extremely careful when you're cutting your cap. This is why the side of my head is so short, because I literally have cut my braid. I don't want y'all to do the same, so be careful. Make sure you're pulling the cap completely up and you're not snipping no braids. Alright, so now we're on the final track. As you see, this is what it should look like as you work your way up. I do like my final track to wrap around the entire length of my leave out. So I'm going to cut and measure a track that stretches around that entire perimeter. And that's just what y'all see me doing. Okay, so I'm just blow drying it in, making sure it's nice and secure, flat ironing it out. Y'all see it's super sleek, super natural and pretty. Flawless foundation, flawless, it looks so good. I'm gonna unravel my leave out and start getting that in order. My hair was already pretty straight because it was weighed down from the product that I had in my hair for my braids, but I did apply some Design Essentials serum to have some heat protection as well, because baby, you need it. I'm gonna apply a dime size amount across all of that hair. Thing for blending my leave out, I'm gonna take my hot comb, the back of my hot comb, and I'm gonna press my hair. So I do a double press. I like doing this because it allows me not to have to apply heat to my hair every single day. After I do the press with the hot comb, I'm gonna divide it, and then I'm gonna use my flat iron to give it that second press. And as you see, my hair gets bone straight, and it stays that way until it's penetrated with water. So make sure you're looking at my description for the products I'm using and the hot tools. It all makes a huge difference in the overall way that your hair holds and takes heat. I don't even have my flat iron on a crazy temperature. It's just gonna take the heat well because of the products and that first press that you do with the hot comb. Okay, so you can stop here if you're satisfied, but me, I do have shorter pieces in the front of my hair. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna apply additional track to the front just to kind of disguise that short piece that I have, just a little breakage. And that's gonna make it be a little more seamless. I've seen people use tape ends for this part, but I didn't have any. I feel like tape ends would be a little more seamless and flat, but I'm just gonna take one extra little track at the front. And if you have fine hair and your hair is a little bit shorter, I would highly recommend doing this because this will help give you a little more volume at the top, because you can't leave out too little leave out, but you definitely have to leave out a good bit. So this will help as well. It's gonna measure that and apply that, not to my scalp, but on the, maybe like, I don't even know the measurement, a little ways down, not directly on my scalp, a little bit on my hair. And don't worry, this is not an issue. All you have to do is literally run water over it and some conditioner and it'll slip right out. Hell, it slips out pretty much after the duration of wearing it with sweating and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that pulling your hair out or anything. Now I'm gonna hit my edges a little bit with my flat iron, and yeah. So here I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I hope I'm explaining this well. I'm a visual learner, so it's kind of hard for me to explain exactly what I'm doing, but hopefully y'all are kind of seeing it, I hope. Alright, so for finishing touches, I'm going to go in with my even edge control, and I'm going to apply a little edge control in the front. No crazy baby hairs, but I do feel like doing this makes it give like a fresh relaxer, fresh pressed look, and I really like that. So I'm going to go in, flatten everything out, add a little black spray, and y'all, that is literally it. It's super flawless. I did add a couple of face framing layers just to give it a more natural look, and I also gave it a blunt cut, but this was pretty much it, y'all. This is how it came out, but I didn't end up wearing it straight in totality. I did end up curling it eventually, but I want to show y'all how tea it was straight too. I really loved how this came out. It took color really well, and it still held its shine and softness as well throughout the process. So big ups to them for that, because this is fire. Looking good. And also you can apply these flat clips. That'll help your leave out blend as well. I feel like people misuse these, but this is what they're for, to hold hair in place. So now we're gonna get into some curls. I'm using my T3 curlers. I'm not exactly sure of the inch. I want to say it's the 2-inch. It's the third biggest size out of the trio. All the details will be in the description below, but I'm just going to put some soft curls and cut some slight layers because I want to show the versatility in the hair. I will say that it doesn't hold a crazy curl, but I didn't pin them. If you do pin them, they do hold a little bit better, so I would recommend giving them a little time, but I do prefer a looser curl anyway. So I love a nice little wave, not too curled. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of layers, as y'all see, just giving it a little something. I kind of went a little crazy with the layers, but they were still really cute and it came together really well. This is like bedhead wifey hair, so pretty, so cute. Once again, major shout out to UNice for sponsoring this video. This hair is literally fire. I got so many compliments. After a while, I did end up putting the full 4th bundle in because I felt like it was giving skimp just a little bit, especially after I curled it. And this hair is pretty long, so in order for it to be a little more full, I would have had to apply a couple more layers. But yes, all details will be in the description box below. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys in my next freaking video. Bye.